right, I want to start off. Call halal la Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah Waha Rachakodash Thumb. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and sincerity, risking their lives and freedom to do so. Shalom to the Akwat and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willing, this is an edifying video. Shalom to the confusion of faith, brethren. Join on to our ranks. Shalom to the sincere women out here that subscribe to the truth that we men of GMS bring out week in, week out. This is the brother Yahweh South out of the GMS Cleveland Church coming at you with another lesson. Lord willing, and call Allah Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah. A fellow servant, just trying to do my part. I'm trying to complete the chapter out of this book, Guinea Pigs by John Hall. And I think I was on the chapter Auditory Harassment. But I'm going to start off with a scripture. I'm going to read out of the book of Isaiah 47, starting at verse 10. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am and none else beside me. And who does that break down to? First and foremost, Esau, Edom. This red Hebrew Edomite. I mean, at the end of the day, this man trusts in his wickedness. I mean, this book is all about basically technologies that they developed to control and harass. And, they weaponize things in order to control their population, this wicked ass society. And they don't believe anybody is seeing them. Like I said, I told you, I don't even know how I was looking up for, if you deal with the library like I do, different floors have different sections have different books. So I don't know how I was going to look up history and I came across a book like this, a book about technologies and whatnot. So, and like I said, it's very informative. I can't say that this man is an Edomite who wrote it. He appears to be one, but at the same time, it is a scripture that says their tongues will fall upon themselves. But at the end of the day, and with this man's knowledge, he thinks, that's why to a certain extent, this man thinks he's the Most High. You know what I mean? You go to the book of Ezekiel, it says that. Let me get that real. Well, I'll get it after this. And this technology has perverted him. That's why he thinks he's trusting in, now Esau is able and capable of, allowing or getting men to walk. And, like the man David Rockefeller, who had, 7 heart transplants. So he extended his life, but at the same time, it was all for naught because at the end of the day, what does the scripture say? I believe it's in the book of Luke where it says, how the Most High said, he required his soul. The man, he planned to build, he built, but it was all for naught because, like I said, the Most High said he came and said he required this soul. Roughly paraphrasing. It says, and thou hast said in thine heart, I am and none else beside me. Verse 11, therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it rises, and mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. And it's beautiful because I was just listening to brothers going about the whole Iran thing. And, what the funny part is, how though they realize, you fucking with all these different nations. and Russia is big brother to all of them, when they try to fuck with Venezuela. They fuck with Venezuela. They fucking with Iran now, so we can't get you physically, so we're going to fuck you with sanctions, you know what I'm saying? But that's like an act of war in itself. That's like, for instance, if you come trying to I've seen dudes, about to fight the boss of a job because you taking, his job away from him because you taking his means of supporting his family. That's like an act of war upon itself. And then these Edomites are so much in a trick bag, though, they don't even realize what they're doing, though, you know what I mean? So, as much as they trying to, we going to play like we going to hit them, and best believe that's not just swept under the rug, you know what I mean? He feel if Trump feels as well if we don't get him with a nuclear attack. And the only reason why I don't think they did it because years ago, you got to remember these are the same people that dropped them bombs on Japan. You got to remember this. So at the end of the day, what's stopping them? These are the same people that money is an object when it comes to the Israelites. We can't afford this, we can't afford that, or certain things. But then you know the loss of life was in comparison to the drone, the cost of the drone. When that was millions of dollars. I mean, it's all made up money anyway. But my point being, that millions of dollars could have went into shit. You brought that $1 million, 100 million. It wasn't a million. Salakia, 100 million into this economy in my city. You know, you could have built some more homeless shelters because right now, you got a lot of families homeless and no place for them to go. um, but it says mischief shall fall upon them and upon thee, and at the end of the day, that's what's going to happen. These people going to look up and they're not going to realize you got all these different nations against them. You got, well, I'm not trying to digress. At the end of the day, what they're doing is evil, but they don't look at it like evil. That's how you show you how really truly evil they are. You know what I mean? And that's why it says, therefore, evil shall come upon thee, and thou shalt not know it. You know what I mean? Like I said, why wouldn't these other nations cooperate? You got, like I said, you just fucking with Venezuela. Now you fucking with Iran. You know what I'm saying? But Russia is in the foreground, in the background. And I believe China, to show you how China is helping them, because I think China went and dropped off aid to Venezuela. So when all these nations come together, that shit ain't go. I ain't mean to digress. Like I said, Salaki. So, I was gonna get the book of Ezekiel. I think it's Ezekiel 28:3 when it says, call himself as the Most High. Roughly paraphrasing, but spirit kind of switching. Um, I'm trying to just finish this lesson. I want to bring out how wicked these motherfucking people is. Though. So jumping into the chapter, it's page 40. It says in 1996, Alfred M. Ankerman proposed another method to pass audio signals through various media such as gases, liquids, and solids. While he did not specifically mention the human head in his patent application, I believe the method would allow for audio signals to be passed through the skull. Working for Martin Meridia Energy Systems Incorporated and funded by a contract from the Department of Energy, Ackerman devised a method to convert audio signals to electronic signals in the ultrasonic frequency range. The ultrasonic signals could then be converted to acoustical pressure waves that would transmit across a carrier medium such as liquids or solids. The acoustic waves could then be reconverted back to audio signals. This involves modulating the human voice audio signals on an ultrasonic carrier frequency that would also be carried across a medium with an acoustic wave. Once the carrier signal has passed through the liquid solid medium, it can be demodulated, leaving only the audio signals intact. Thus, the system can be used for communication without the use of traditional radio frequencies. In his patent, Ackerman mentioned that the value of this method for communications were a high degree of security is required. Covert radio frequency communication requires scrambling the signal or trunking between frequencies to avoid interpretations. Salakia, interceptions. It says by using ultrasonic signals converted to acoustic waves, the communication system will be impervious to traditional radio frequency detection systems. It says, in other words, this technology may be useful for surveillance, harassment, and corporate espionage. This method of sound propagation could explain the harassing audio many people are subjected to, that is described as sounds that bombard them through vibrations in the home. Not to be outdone by the private sector, the DoD became keenly interested in the microwave auditory effect. As with most new discoveries, the government eventually finds a way to weaponize most novel technologies. The microwave auditory effect was no different. Furthermore, all branches of the military began researching microwave technology as it pertains to both physical and psychological weapons. Term non-lethal weapons. This class includes microwaves as well as other forms of directed energy that will be discussed later. And not to digress, but I was just going to basically ad lib to the fact that forget which Credible Hawker was. I think it was the one with the guy Edward Norton, and they had the I can't remember if it was the one with Edward Norton or if it was the one with Eric Bana, but it was one where the military had the sound wave dishes on top of the Hummers, the Humvees, the military Humvees, and they were shooting the Hawk with him, and it was knocking him down, and he had to basically push through it, and he was able to break them. Like what was that one of the on Batman versus Superman? I think they had a sound one too. I know he came up with he had the machine gun torrents, and then he had like some kind of acoustic thing, I believe, that Batman had like basically baited him in to before he even came out with he had the spear made out of kryptonite. But so and I remember that came out what shit, want to say like '08, '09 or something, that Incredible Hulk. So they were showing you that years ago. It says the microwave auditory effect is specifically mentioned in the Army's addendum to the non-lethal technologies worldwide bioeffects of selected non-lethal weapons, released through the Freedom of Information Act. This document, written in 1998, mentions the value of the microwave auditory effect communicating with a hostage without his captive's hearing. Wow. Furthermore, it mentions its usefulness in providing a disruptive condition in a person's unaware of the technology. Furthermore, it mentions its usefulness in providing a disruptive condition in a person unaware of the technology. Not only might it be disruptive to the sense of hearing, it could be psychologically devastating if one suddenly heard voices within one's head. Moreover, microwaves placed next to the person experiencing the voices cannot pick up the sound. The most troubling comment in the document states that humans have been subjected to this phenomenon for years. I'm going to repeat that. The most troubling comment in the document states humans have been subjected to this phenomenon for years. So bear with me for a second. Salakia, this is the book of Proverbs 12 and 20. Deceit is in the heart of them that imagine evil. And that's the point I want to get, at the end of the day. These people imagine evil. You get what I'm saying? Like they sitting plotting on this. I mean, when they that's why you heard what they said when this guy Ackerman developed this. Alfred M. Ackerman developed this. The Department of Defense jumped right on it. You get what I'm saying? Because they looked at how they can weaponize it. You know what I'm saying? But it says in the book of Luke. For nothing is secret that shall, this is Luke 8 and 17, for nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad. So at the end of the day, as much as they try to keep this secret, you know what I mean? I mean, how many of you would have known that they've been doing this for years? I mean, you could have guessed it, but, it says, indeed, a Newsweek article from August 22nd, 1964, and an article from Defense Electronics, July 1993. Now, damn, that's fucking damn near 29 years. It was stated that the FBI enlisted the help of a Russian scientist named Igor Smirnov. Smirnov, now this name has been mentioned a few different times. I'm going to check into this guy, just like that other guy, the American that developed all the other shit. Smirnov had been researching the ability to phone subliminal messages in their head for many years. So these people is the same people, as I say, like when it's beneficial, I mean, what the point even to finish the statement? These people, when it's beneficial, that's just like with the paperclip, Operation Paperclip, and I forgot what the other one was called, but how, the whole point of them going over there was because the world was getting terrorized by the so-called Germans, the Nazis, the men of Teeman, and then you secretly, basically, usher some in. That's how America's technology, quadrupled, in such a short amount of time. And Russia's as well, because Russia took some of the Germans, and, America took some of the Germans. It says, during the Branch Davidian siege in Waco, Texas, the FBI met with Smirnoff in Arlington, Virginia to request the use of his technologies to end the siege. Their plan was to pipe the voice of God into the head of David Koresh in order to convince him to turn himself in to the authorities. According to the people attending the meeting with the FBI, Smirnoff had brought only entry-level equipment that was not compatible with FBI computers. To our knowledge, Smirnoff's acoustic mind control technology was not used at the siege in Waco for that reason. Of note, Smirnov did most of his research at Moscow's Institute of Psycho-Corrections and marketed his technology to the West through a Canadian company called Psychotechnology Research Institute. Seeking U.S. partners, PRI went to SRS Technologies, now part of a Mantech International Corporation. Interesting, Mantech is based in my hometown. That's going to the author. Then it goes into a whole bunch of like different patents and whatnot. Weaponized versions of the microwave auditory effect and acoustic wave technology include the Medusa weapon and the S quad silent sound spread spectrum, respectively. The Medusa weapon, mob excess deterrent using silent audio, is the brainchild of Dr. Lev Sadovnik. Sadovnik. The initial research was funded by the Navy in 2003 to 2004 under contract. The Navy was interested in using the MAE as a remote personnel incapacitation system by inducing distressing sounds into the human head. It's the S-Quad was developed by Dr. Oliver Lowry and his is described in U.S. Patent 5159703 as a silent subliminal presentation system. In the patent abstract, the device is described as a system in which non-oral carriers in a very low, very high frequency range may be modulated with the desired intelligence and propagated into the brain. Silent Sound Incorporated recently claimed that they now have the ability to analyze the human EEG, replicate it or store it, and transmit a modified EEG waveform into the intended target. Yeah, I'm gonna just finish up here. It says an entire book could easily be written on the research and development of technologies meant to subliminally control the human mind or place perceived auditory hallucinations in the head. And this is one of them, by the way, because this is like what 100 and maybe 170, 180 pages. It says, I have attempted to present some of the high points of this research to demonstrate that the possibility exists of technologically stimulating mental illness. Medical doctors are on the front lines of fielding the complaints of hearing voices. So at the end of the day, I brought out enough facts there that they're saying that, it's technologies that's been created where they can actually implant thoughts and voices into the head. And if that ain't Satan, and I'm gonna leave with this scripture. I didn't bring it out earlier, but I am now. Because being in this truth and being brothers that believe and have faith, the Most High talks all time, all kinds of ways. If you are patient enough to pay attention, or if you listening, like I was just listening to the brother in Kansas City, Marla Hoya, and he was saying how the Most High put a thought in his head. You know what I mean? Sounded like it was a subconscious thought. You know what I mean? So it's coming across as his voice, but he knew and recognized it was the Most High. The Most High. You could be like, I know brothers that go out on the highways and hedges. You might be talking about a specific or a certain topic or whatever you're talking about, and then the Most High manifested. It might come across on like for instance, we were on the highways and hedges, and we were talking about how America was gonna burn, and this bitch gonna be hot, it's on fire, it's gonna be on fire, and all this. And then as soon as we look up, we see DMX tour bus. It had DMX name, and it's hot in hell or something. Whatever that phrase what he used to use when hell is hot or something like that. Long story short, though, it was corresponding to what we were saying. So that was the spirit. But anyhow, this Edomite wants to be so much of the Most High. He want to put thoughts in your head. This is the book of Ezekiel 28:2. Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, say, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God. I sit in the seat of Yahweh, in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man, and not Yahweh. Thou, though thou set thine heart as the heart of Yahweh, behold, verse 3, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. And you know he was. Daniel was a very wise man. You got to remember, Daniel was actually like put in a high position by two different rulers of that kingdom at the time. You had Nebuchadnezzar, and then you had who was it, Darius? It was when Nebuchadnezzar, when the Babylonians got conquered and the Medo-Persians came in, you know, then he was put on a high esteem with them, because remember he was able to he's put in a high position in both kingdoms, put it like that. So just show you how wise he was. And this Edomite is wise. Think about it. Like I said, he's created technology that can actually like put thoughts in your head. Yeah. But who gave him that knowledge, that wisdom? Like I just read in the book of where did I read that? In Isaiah 47, you know what I mean? With their knowledge and their wisdom is corrupted them. This is Ezekiel 28:4. With thine wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. Verse 5. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic, thou hast increased thine riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. Verse 6. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of Yahweh. Salakia. It says, verse 7, behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. And you can see that now. You got people, I mean, years ago, Iran, those Persians would not have attempted to shoot down shit of America's. They bucking up, you get what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't, that's how you really see that this white man, this Salakia, this red man is actually losing his power. You know what I mean? Come on. Just like years ago, we couldn't do what we're doing. I mean, you still get these Edomites get butt hurt. Yeah, we get into it with our people and these Edomites. You get into it with these fucking bug outs that, they, and that's just to show you the pride of these Edomites. You know what I mean? Like, you see, after you done did all this rape, rob, and murder, did you want everybody to get along? Because you, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, man, that shit gonna be. Like I said, I was listening to a brother say this. He was like, it's funny. They teach everybody, oh yeah, peace, peace, and love, love, and all that shit. But then they teach their children how to hunt and shoot goods, and what I mean, all this whole shit. Or they teach their children not to associate. You can't. And they play like that shit, but a little white girl ain't gonna bring you. Not most of them anyway, but you gotta be some spectacular nigga. You know what I mean? Cause to show you how they really think. Remember with the whole situation with fucking Magic Johnson and the broad and the one owner. You know what I mean? Magic Johnson is not no peon as no Israelite. He is established in this fucking wicked ass system and kingdom. What he do? He said that nigga. You know what I'm saying? Verse 8. They shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die. The deaths of them that are slain in the midst of the seas. I love this part. Verse 9. Wilt thou yet say before him that slayeth thee, I am God? But thou shalt be a man and no God in the hand of him that slayeth thee. So with that, I want to end the lesson because at the end of the day, you're gonna, even though this Edomite, this red Hebrew Edomite, proclaims himself to be God-like, or he thinks he as God, he as of a God, or he pretends to be God-like. When these other nations, and when the Most High bring him low, and when these other nations show him that he's not a God, what is he gonna say to thee? That slayeth thee. So with that, I want to give all praise, honor, glory. Call halal Allah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Waha Rachakras Gatham. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and sincerity, risking their lives and the freedom to do so. Shalom to the Akwat and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willing, this was an edifying video. Shalom to the confusion of faith, brethren, join on to our rights, as well to all the women that subscribe to the doctrine of the doctrine, our doctrine, the truth. And with that, I want to say shalom, shalom, and abad babal.